Hey, YouTube. Well, I'm going to talk about Queen Sugar. Queen Sugar, Season 3, Episode 11. All right, so this scene opens up with Darla is in bed. She's crying. She's having a very hard time with this custody battle she's in with Ralph Angel. She is kind of protective of Ralph Angel. She don't want to just take the boy from him. But at the same time, she's seeking 70% custody. Just so the kid has a stable household. And her mother is there egging her on, probably too much. Her mother is too involved in this custody battle. Right? She's the one that is starting all this stuff about going to court and all this. It comes from her mom. All right, so they're preparing for a mediation. Mediation is when, I guess the lady's a judge. A judge will hear both sides of their story and try to settle it before they get to an actual trial. All right, next thing we see is Vicky. Vicky is Charlie's detective who's been working with her on taking down these Landrys, right? She comes to where Charlie is. So Charlie still works at, I wasn't clear about that. She still works at a factory? She still works at Queen Sugar, the company she once owned. So that's where she goes. That's where Vicky meets her, tells her that she has something important to talk to her about. But the problem is, she tells her that her police connections have informed her that Micah is a person of interest in the fire, burning down of this slave shack on this plantation, right? All right, so Charlie initially, of course, she don't believe he would be involved in something like that, but she gets it pretty quick, and she goes to his school. They have a run-in. He does confess that he was there, that the fire was an accident. Charlie's not impressed with the fire being an accident. He's still responsible. She's terrified that this prison that they're planning on building will house her son. So he gets mad and he runs off. She's still talking to him outside of the school, and he starts texting. His kid gets away with a lot. God bless you mothers who are dealing with teenagers, because this boy, he's acting like a teenager. He's a typical teenager, little monsters. Anyway. God bless you for the things you have to go through. I know I wasn't a bad kid, but of course, all that sexuality stuff, I put my mother through a few things. So he's putting his mother through now because he's being rebellious. She's talking and he is texting Nova. He wants to talk to Nova because Nova is really, when Nova was in school, she was like these kids. She was an activist from a very young age, right? He wants to talk to her. Okay, Vi is being, I guess it's a local TV show, and they're featuring Vi. They're doing several interviews, kind of following her around her business, her kitchen, for a feature on a local television show, right? We don't see Hollywood this episode at all. Nova's publisher, oh, she's so blessed to have a publisher. Listen, I'm a writer. I've written 5 books, all self-published, no help, no assistance. I had no idea what I was doing the whole time I was doing it. And then I had to take the reins after I finished the book and tried to make it a book. And it was hard work with very few people read them. She's blessed to have a publisher who is guiding her through this whole process and who will, when the book is done, take over from there. Boy, I would love to write like that. Anyway, they're telling her that we have your father's story, we have Vi's story, we have some of the farmer's story, but we don't have anything from you, and we want more from your personal experience. Include yourself in the book, right? Next thing we see is a meeting. Okay, so the farmers want to meet with Charlie. I guess they're under the impression that she still owns Queen Sugar. Charlie hasn't been honest throughout quite a bit of this stuff. She feels like she can just get through it better with sharing limited information, right? The farmers want to meet with her. They tell her they all know about the prison, and she says their lies to them. They're meeting at, I guess, the High Yellow, and she lies. She acts like this is the first she's heard of it. Oh no, a prison, all that. All right, she pretends it's the first time she ever heard of it. Next thing, Nova is counseling Micah, counseling him, schooling him, shall we say, about the seriousness of what he's done. He's erased history, the markers of their history. No matter what we think about slavery, we still need to know about it. It is our history, heritage, and they have destroyed it. He goes on about it being an accident, and she said it was a mistake. Now, I don't know if she's trying to lead this kid into confessing. It seems like Micah is so fragile that he could confess at any moment. He seems to want to tell somebody everything. But I don't think any of the grown-ups want him to do that. They don't want to see him behind bars instead of going to college. All right, so she schools him. Now, when they did that, because Micah, he just wants to make it right. He wants to make it right here. So I wonder, can this thing be restored? Can it be rebuilt? Would it have the same historical significance if they built it exactly? They could go to another one of the shacks and rebuild this thing. It's kind of what I was thinking where they were going with this, as far as making it right. I don't know. Nova was going on about how you can actually feel the spirits of the people in the buildings. So, Nova was introduced to us as a very spiritual person. She used to do all kinds of spiritual things with candles and all that ritual. We haven't seen that from her for a while. But Micah wants to make this thing right, and I can't imagine how else he would make it right other than rebuilding or doing something on his property to restore the history. I don't know. They're not telling us yet, not just yet. Okay. Charlie meets with Mrs. Landry. Now they're finally getting each other some respect. Charlie has finally broken out and is trusting his girl, and they're partners now in taking down this Landry empire and putting it in the hands of the sister. Right? The sister and also Charlie. Okay, she meets Landry. She's inviting her to this meeting, which is supposed to determine if the property can be used for this prison or not. Now, Charlie has all the shares from her nephew, right? From Mrs. Landry's nephew, and she has the votes of Mrs. Landry, and she has her own one vote. I don't know what that's worth anyway. She's got, together, both of them have enough to change this decision about this prison, to stop it, right? So they go to this meeting with Landry at his house, or wherever they meet, his house or business. And Landry pulls a fast one. They're going there prepared to stop this construction. They have I don't know if it's a majority shares, but they have enough shares to stop the project. And Landry pulls she's invited to the meeting, but she won't have a voice in the meeting because as far as they know, she only has one share, right? They're not aware yet that she has procured this nephew's shares. So they say, okay, Mrs. Landry said, okay, well, let's put it up to a vote. They have the whole thing, the whole mock-up of the prison and all that, showing how they're going to do all the construction. She says, are we supposed to vote for it here? Because they could stop it right there if things were done properly. Landry says, oh, no, that won't be necessary. We did it 3 days ago. And then he says that he sent them a memo, and the memo, they didn't answer the memo, so they went ahead and voted. The company bylaws. He's a snake. He must know some kind of way that they're onto him. Anyway, so they've already approved it at that level as far as the board is concerned. They have one more hurdle they have to cross. Is a meeting. I think it's with the townspeople. They have some kind of vote. I don't know. But it's one more hurdle they have to, so they have one more chance to stop this project. The farmers are determined. She meets with the farmers again. They are determined to stop this construction of this prison. These people have lost their children to jail system there. Apparently that jail system there is really already harsh, and now they want to build this monstrosity right there in town, which will probably mean that they'll be putting more people in it. They're not building in it as a nonprofit. Anyway. Okay, so we're in the mediation now, and we're in the mediation. Ralph is, well, it's mediation, so they both are kind of stressed. But he informs Charlie, the whole room. There's about 6 or 7 people in the room, right, including the judge and the lawyers and them, and this mother of Darla's. Ralph informs them that they are seeking full custody. Dumb move, in my opinion. I don't get it. I don't get it. Even Darla, the mother, wasn't seeking full custody. See, Darla wants to be reasonable. Now, if this boy, he knows this man as his father. This is his father. So he needs a father in his life if he can have one. I think Darla recognizes that. She recognizes that I don't want to just come and just take the boy away. She set up housing there in that city. She's got a good job in that city. And she wanted to share custody. Initially 50-50. When he resisted the 50-50, she went to 70-30. They don't want to be in perpetual fights, right? So now Ralph has informed them that they are seeking full custody, which I imagine would mean that Darla and them, they want full custody if they're fighting them for full custody. But Darla is still not sitting well with it. This mother keeps interrupting the meeting. She is determined. She keeps talking about this party that Ralph had. That kid had it at the house one day. I mean, somebody had a party in the house. Ralph fired him, and that was pretty much it. She keeps blowing that up like he's an unfit parent kind of thing. But she wants to fight for Darla, right? She interrupts the meeting and tells all these bad things about Ralph Angel, and of course Ralph Angel is saying, "You think she's better?" They will not let this girl let go of her past, and that is why I cling so much to Darla's side. That is why I think it's unfair, and I think it's unfair to take this woman's child. Yes, boy needs a father, but he also needs his mother, particularly if he wants to be with them. He wants to be with both of them. But he's growing up, All right, his needs are changing is what I think I'm trying to say. Okay. Okay, so remember that one kid, Anthony, who got busted, got caught? The cops got him so far, arrested him in school. The kids are meeting with the mother now. It looks like another meeting in a restaurant, maybe the High Yellow. Okay, she's talking about her experience where both of her other sons have ended up in jail, and now this third one's in trouble. She asked these kids, she wants to know if they were involved. They were all very close. They did everything together. They were all thick as thieves. And she cannot accept that he did this thing by himself. And they lie. They say no. But Micah is bothered by it. So by them continually showing him struggling with lying, I get the impression this is going to end up in some kind of confession or something. But I'm just guessing. They lie to her face. No, we had nothing to do with it. They're not going to be able to do anything with anybody in jail. So if they can cover it up, I would cover it up. Anyway, so she said anyway, so they lied to the mother, right? And I don't know what she wants. They're not gonna let her son go because they were there. If anything, they just arrest all of them. But that's not going to do anything for her son. They don't give him less time because other people are there involved. So I don't know why she wants them to confess that they were also there. You get busted, it's on you. You don't go and tell on your friends. Anyway. Okay, you remember the kid from the first episode? Too sweet. Be quiet, boy. Come on. Be quiet, boo. Didi. This is the warning that someone's in the hall. Get up! I'm starting to love this dog. He's something else. No, I mean, you can start climbing him. He needs a lot of attention. Do you? Say hello to people. Come here. Say hello to the people. Hi. Hi, people. Hi. How you doing? What you doing? I'm going to do the dance. Oh, I'm going to do the dance all over my daddy. I'm going to look at the camera, boy. Say hi. How you doing? Give me my daddy back. He's doing fine. He's doing better with snapping at people, too. Shut up. Okay. Where was that? Stop, boy. Oh, Too Sweet. So Too Sweet was the kid that Nova was trying to help in the beginning. Hey. Now he'll make that little he'll do that until the coast is clear again. That's the kind of dog that he was, a guard dog. That was his thing. Okay. Too Sweet is the little boy that Nova was trying to help in the beginning of this whole series, right? It turned out he was busted with some weed and he did time in prison. Well, Nova, in her searching through her history, wants to come clean about the dope. Oh, Jimmy, would you excuse me for a minute, please? Thank you very much. Shut the hell up, Deanie. Get it bum in there. Get on. Get it bum in there. Come on. Go. Excuse me, friends. Raising these children. Raising these children is hard. But that squinty dog will never become a teenager. So I'm still blessed. All right. Too Sweet. Nova goes to visit him, right? She says, I'm the one that caused you to be in here. Her thinking is, because I sold the guy who sold you the weed, I sold it to him. I was a drug dealer at the time. I was selling weed. He said, I do not hold you responsible for that. No, it was my decision. I'm the one about the drugs. I got busted. Well, he's got out of jail, and now he is doing well with a good point average in college. So he motivates Nova. This is the story she needs to tell in her book. Got to get the people what they want, right? Okay, so Too Sweet doing well. He's in college. Davis is in town. You know, Davis moved back to L.A. At first, he was there nearby, helping to raise Micah. Or at least, you know, Micah could go there and visit him anyway. He moved to L.A. to raise his little girl. So he's got his own family to raise now. Just him and the girl so far, his daughter. We have not met her yet. But he comes to town, Charlie's asked him to talk to Micah, explain to him that some things can't be fixed, explain to him the seriousness of what the position he's put himself in. The trouble he's gotten himself in, she wants him to understand that. He's not communicating with her, and he's not been communicating with his father for a long time. There is a scene where Charlie catches him crying in bed, and he confessed that he misses his father. They haven't been able to connect, but they had a conversation about this thing, right? In this episode, we don't get a resolution about what's going on with this All we know is that all four of these kids are persons of interest in the fire. Darla's mother goes off. We go back to the mediation. Her mother goes in. You know, she's talking, taking over the meeting. The judge tells her, I only want to hear from the parents, mother and the father. I don't need to hear from you, lady. She insists. She has an outbreak. And when they get back home, Darla gets rid of her mother. She sends her mother packing. She says, I do not want to just come and dominate and take this kid away. Ralph Angel, many times, we're great parents. And sometimes, mainly because this trouble has come along, then it's a big mess. So it's kind of a difficult custody thing here. Ralph Angel's family has hired him attorneys, so they're prepared to fight. But Charlie says, I'll do the fighting by myself, Mama. I don't need you. I want you in this particular incident. They seem to be getting along a little better, the mother and Darla. Maybe she just kept it a secret the whole time. Everything felt a shit. Anyway, I guess the truth will set you free. That's the principle. Okay, let me see where I'm at. Okay, after the mother went off, Ralph confessed that he had already taken this paternity test, and he is not the biological father, right? Then they cut to Darla and her mother back at Darla's house, and Darla sends her home. She wants to handle it on her own. Okay, Charlie and Davis, they have an intimate moment. You know, they had this kid in common, so they're never going to be totally separated. But they have an intimate moment, and she hugs him. And they just leave it like that. Sweet moment. He says that Micah's going to be okay. And then she hugs him. So for a moment, they're family again. This is how this whole thing started. They were a family. So both of them are missing this, Charlie and Micah. And I'm sure Davis just wanted his cake and eat it too. He's just an athlete. You know how they are with their penises. Okay. I think that's about it. That's what happened this week. Okay. So not a lot of resolution here. Everybody's in battles with companies and with children and with the police. That was this week's episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it though.